Okay, so my name is Pablo Valdés-Alemán, and I'm going to present my research titled Emotional Response to Musicolor Stimuli. So we have a problem. What is the role of emotion in combined musicolor stimuli? First, we need to know that music is an emotional stimulus, and that, as studied by Erola and Buskowski, it can be assessed by Russell's dimensional model of emotion, which comprises of its valence, positive and negative, and arousal or activation. In that sense, it is known that music's mode, at least in a Western context, correlates with the perception of emotional valence, whereas tempo is associated with arousal. Nonetheless, it is important to note that although some studies contemplate valence as hedonic valence or pleasure, these two variables may interfere, taking into account the paradox of pleasurable sad music, where music may be perceived as pleasant despite its association with a negative valence. Hence, pleasure is another variable to take into consideration. Furthermore, we also know that color can induce emotions, right? And according to the ecological valence theory, we evaluate colors' emotions in terms of the objects that surround us, their color, and the emotion they exert in us. For example, the sun and its association with yellow, depending on what we feel towards the sun, would be the emotional evaluation of its color. To that matter, Janowski et al. Discovered that people living near the equator evaluate yellow with negative emotions compared to those living in colder and darker regions, concluding that this theory is influenced by geographical, environmental, and cultural factors. Additionally, we know that there is an emotional link between music and color. That is, that we tend to associate music with colors when both stimuli share similar emotions, as noted by Palmer et al. And Valdés-Alemán et al., using the 37 colors from the Berkeley Color Project. Nonetheless, these studies explored the relationship of these stimuli by assessing their evoked emotions when presented individually, but never when presented combined, music with color. This leaves open the question of what type of emotional influence would there be when presented together: a synergic effect when they share the same emotion, or an emotional predominance when they evoke different emotions. The solution I propose is to first study the 37 colors of the Berkeley Color Project together with a positive and a negative control in terms of valence, arousal, and pleasure, to then calculate their average, which is the VAP index, and select both the most positive and the most negative color in terms of its VAP index. Secondly, by using the selected colors plus two musical stimuli previously validated as positive and negative in VAP index, respectively, I would assess them individually, positive, joyful, pleasant, or negative, sad, unpleasant, either music or color, and combined, congruent when they share the same emotion, or incongruent when they represent different emotions, in terms of valence, arousal, pleasure, and predominance, the latter for the combined condition only. This because it inquires which of the stimuli predominated in conveying the reported emotion. Again, I would calculate the VAP index. Here I show you the results from the first study, where a bright cyan was assessed as the most joyful and pleasurable color, and a dark yellow as the saddest and unpleasant one. These two differed significantly in emotion, but did not differ among their corresponding control. Here I show you the selection of the two musical stimuli according to their most positive and their most negative VAP index, as shown by two previous studies. Results from the second study revealed that although music and color could individually evoke significantly opposite emotions, joy and sadness, when combined, music played a more substantial role in conveying emotions, since within the incongruent condition, music's emotion predominated over the color's emotion. This can be reassured with the results from the predominance scale, where all conditions were evaluated similarly towards a musical emotional predominance. Furthermore, music was more emotionally engaging than color when assessed individually, potentially elucidating this phenomenon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.